I was, am, and shall have no end. Right off the bat, we have a contradiction, since the Joy of Satan claims that Satan is not eternal, but was born 500,000 years ago. Every age had its own manager, who directs affairs according to my decrees. According to the Yazidis, everything's going great. It's all in line with Melech's decrees. See, the Yazidis had more of a he's got the whole world in his hands view of God, whereas the Joy of Satan has more of an everyone in the government is a Jew who's working to destroy all of humanity kind of outlook. I allow everyone to follow the dictates of his own nature, but he that opposes me will sorely regret it. What if you're Jewish? Because by the Joy of Satan logic, it's in the nature of the Jews to oppose Melech. Melech might have wanted to word that a little bit differently. Maybe not use the word everyone, maybe make some clear distinction about Jews, specifically about racial, not religious Jews. No God has the right to interfere in my affairs, and I have made it an imperative rule that everyone shall refrain from worshiping all gods. And this God is Satan, and this God is Satan, and this God is Satan, and this God is Satan. If that was such an imperative rule, you'd think Melech would try to make it clear which gods he is and which gods he isn't. Personally, if I was him, I'd give myself a very distinct name and have everyone that I come in contact with just call me by that name. All the books of those who are without are altered by them, and they have declined from them, although they were written by the prophets and the apostles. This quote makes a lot of sense if you understand what the Yazidis actually believe, which is very similar to Christianity in the sense that they believed in the story of Adam and Eve, but with a few deviations from the traditional plot, which I'll get to later. So basically what Melech's saying is what all religions say, which is, my word is truth, everything else is a perversion. That there are interpolations is seen in the fact that each sect endeavors to prove the other wrong and to destroy their books. Here Melech is saying that the proof of these perversions made by those without is the fact that all these other religions try to prove each other wrong and try to shut each other down. Knowledge is something we should always strive for, to reach into the heavens and to learn as much as possible, even the falseness, so we can counteract the ignorance. Yeah, last time I checked, Joy of Satan really wasn't too keen on trying to understand their opposition. I requite the sons of Adam, and reward them with various rewards that I alone know. This is what I was talking about before with how the Yazidis believed in the Adam and Eve story with some slight alterations. The Yazidis believed in a sort of Adam and Steve story, only it was Adam and Melech. The story says that they beat off into a jar, and a few months later, that jar of bodily fluids became a baby. And it's the Yazidi belief that they are descended from that baby, thus making them sons of Adam. This is also why the Yazidis are tribalistic and don't accept converts. Which also explains why Melech later states that he doesn't allow friendly association with other people. I lead to a straight path without a revealed book. Melech leads with a website instead. Totally different. All of my teachings are easily applicable to all times and all conditions. Yeah, if your teachings are the same as those found on the JoS, no, they're not easily applicable to modern times. Magic probably being the most obvious example. I have allowed the creation of 4 substances, 4 times, and 4 corners, because they are necessary things for creatures. Using Melech's philosophy, I'm not going to jump to any rash conclusions and be like, he said 4, he must be talking about DNA. Instead, I'll take the easily applicable route in interpreting this. The 4 elements would be earth, wind, water, and fire. The 4 times relating to a more primitive time structure would be day, midday, midnight, and night. And the 4 corners are, of course, the 4 nautical corners. Another thing I want to add, the idea of Melech creating the elements, time, and the 4 corners contradicts the Joy of Satan doctrine. According to JoS, the elements, time, and the 4 corners had already been established before Satan was born. The Al-Jilwah is a book that is said to have been written by the Yazidis, who are a religious group who actually have some pretty boring religious beliefs that mirror Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. The whole devil worship misconception, actually comes from Muslims who probably noticed that their Muslim faith was very similar to the Yazidi religion, and instead of realizing that religions often copy from one another, oh, conspiracy, the Muslims jumped to the irrational conclusion that the Yazidis are worshipping the devil. Also, scholars state that the book known as the Al-Jilwah is a forgery, written by non-Yazidis in 1911, but it is said to reflect the Yazidi beliefs accurately.